Hey class, today I'm going to talk to you about discussions. They're going to be in a standard format throughout the whole entire of our class. And unlike the papers, your papers are going to have rubrics that are unique to each paper. So make sure you're printing and using each rubric. However, for discussions, the discussion rubric, as you can see here, is going to be used for all of our discussions throughout our time together. What I want to do in this video is I want to talk to you about the minimum guidelines or minimum requirements that you need to meet for your discussion posts, and then go through this rubric together. So let's start off and just look at the minimum requirements that you need for your discussion posts. Again, in this it starts with the initial post and then your response posts. If you don't have this printed, pause the video, now's a good time, and go and print it from our website, our class website, and then come back to this video before I go into it, and we can get started. So, looking at the initial post, what are some things that you have to be aware of before posting? The first thing is compose a post of 1 to 2 paragraphs. And you got to remember, I'm looking at these and I'm grading from this rubric. The beautiful thing about a rubric is you can use it to create your work, and I use it to grade your work. So there's no hit tricks, there's nothing that's going to be different. So if you follow this, I'm following it as well, and there's no surprises. So I look for these when grading, and it's going to help you out immensely get those grades that you're striving for and help you in your academic endeavors. So the first thing in the initial post, and I'm going to be reading from here, is 1 to 2 paragraphs. Make sure that post is 1 to 2 paragraphs, and that it's posted by Thursday of the module week. This video is going to reference module 1, and for module 1 that Thursday is December 17th, 2015. So I'm going to look, is that date posted Thursday or prior? And if you'll see if it's later than that Thursday, you're going to get docked points in the rubric. Looking at that, the last bullet is what something is of importance here at the end of this initial post, and it says you reference scholarly or peer-reviewed sources. Notice the word sources. That's more than one. So you're going to need a minimum of 2 sources in your initial post, and I'm going to look for that. That means you're going to cite 2 individual sources and you're going to reference them. It says in this bullet point, reference the scholarly peer-reviewed sources to support your discussion points as appropriate using proper citation methods for your discipline. So that means I'm going to look for, did you cite 2 different sources in your 1 to 2 paragraphs, and did you put a reference section at the end of your post? So that's the minimum guidelines, minimum requirements for your discussion post, your initial. Let's look at your 2 response posts. Now, feel free to comment and talk to everyone and anyone you want as much as possible in our discussions. However, there is a requirement that you have a minimum interaction with 2 other people and respond to them individually, and that's where grading comes in as well. I'm not going to grade more than 2 different people's response posts that you make. So if you make a response and you reply to Jim, Sally, and Susie, your grade is going to be on Jim and Sally, and the last one is going to be just something you wanted to do on your own. So looking at the response post minimum requirements, it says respond to at least 2 different classmates outside of your initial thread. So go out, find 2 unique people and respond to them, and it says this must be done by Sunday in the module week. Referencing module 1, the Sunday is December 20th. So I'm going to look at the date that you posted and see if it's at the 20th or earlier. If not, we'll see in a moment in the rubric what happens. So those are some important pieces to hit for your minimum requirements. And now let's look at the rubric. Your rubric, just like your papers, has critical elements that I look for, and they're here along the side. I'm going to be referencing the exemplary section of the rubric because that's the 100% that I think we all want to strive for. And you can tell it goes lower from proficient to needs improvement to not evident, which brings the grade down by percentages, and this is all in the rubric. So let's start with critical element number 1, comprehension. Develops an initial post with an organized, clear point of view or idea using rich and significant detail. What that means to me is, and for you, is that you're going to have a discussion that's going beyond a mere statement or one sentence. Okay? Clear point of view, ideas, rich and significant detail. What that translates into is you're expanding on your thoughts and your ideas. You're not simply stating one thing and that's it. An example of this is saying, I'm going to use hypnosis again, like my short paper video, but if I just wrote, hypnosis is a great tool for therapy, period. That's not going into rich and significant detail. Perhaps I want to go further and say, hypnosis is an exemplary form of therapy because, as cited in the study by Smith 2012, hypnosis is found to be beneficial for people in alleviating stress. And now you can start to see how I'm going in rich, significant detail. Timeliness, number 2 in the critical elements of the rubric. As you can see, the later your post is put, your points get docked off. Engagement. The critical element of engagement means, let's read the exemplary first. Provides relevant and meaningful response posts with clarifying explanation and detail. Now, the key words to take out of this is all of a sudden you're going from comprehension and timeliness to engagement, and this is going to be for your response post to your other classmates. So if you go and respond to Jim, I'm making this up, was your response to Jim relevant and meaningful? Did you simply write, yeah, I agree, and that was it? That's not going to work. You're going to want to have clarifying explanation and detail, and just like the example given, if you respond to Jim and say, I fully agree with what you're saying. Freud has shown to be an impact in psychology across decades of research, greatly influencing how we change and view our society. Now you're starting to go into detail and you're explaining and you're providing that richness. So go inside and engage the post. Critical thinking says draws insightful conclusions that are thoroughly defended with evidence and examples. Now this is where your citing is going to come in. I'm going to look at this and I'm going to say, they made a statement, did they have a citation to back it up? Did they include a reference? If I say a claim and say, yeah, it's true, 9 out of 10 people can't sleep at night if they watch TV past 11. That sounds like I found that online from a study. I didn't make that up myself. I found that somewhere existing. I need to cite that. So instead, a better way is to say, you're right in the response post. You're right, Jim. The study by Smith and Wales of 2010 found that 9 out of 10 individuals who stayed up past 11 o'clock couldn't sleep. I'm using examples, but you can start to see how I am making conclusions with evidence and providing examples. So your citations are going to be needed there as well. I'm on the last piece of the rubric now. The last piece and the critical element is your writing or the mechanics of your posts. And I'm going to start with the exemplary. It says initial post responses are easily understood. They're clear and concise using proper citation methods where applicable with no errors in citation. What that means to you and me is your writing is clear and understandable. And this is a great piece to touch on your papers as well. All writing should be clear and understandable. Follow these rubrics. Make sure you're putting in every critical element in your papers and discussions so it flows well. If you're going to quote something, if you're going to cite something, put the citation and have a reference section at the bottom of the post. So again, like if I use something again and I make a claim and I say that 4 out of 5 individuals who eat seafood don't grow past 5 feet. I'm making this up. That's obviously done somewhere. I found that as a study. So I'm going to want to cite that where I found it and include it in my post. If I read your posts and I say, hey, I can tell this is from an existing study, but no citations are given or nothing, that's when the docking, the points get affected because I'm following the rubric and I'm finding that the work is perhaps needing improvement. It may not be evident or it is just proficient. So I want you guys to strive for exemplary. Look over this rubric, print it out, use it during your discussions. And I hope you found this insightful and informative. You can always email me, set up a time to talk, and I'll be posting more videos throughout our semester to help you guys fully get the most out of our class and find the content enjoyable. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.